A good year.
1st of October, Rabbi Levitt, Pele Yoetz.
Piskatova and a guten kvittel. So alle Yidden.
Amen.
Nice group today. Baruch Hashem. So today we're going to take a look at this Gemara that the Pele Yoetz brings after his discussion about the mitzvah of the sages to not only wash before the meal. Everybody knows that you're supposed to wash your hands before the meal, before you eat bread. But people aren't aware that there's an equally binding obligation to wash your hands after the Suda before you bench. And that's what the Pele Yoetz is telling us over here, that this is what one has to do. And he concludes his remark over here with an amazing statement that we're going to look into over here in the Gemara in Brachos. The Gemara in Brachos says, "Kol ha'ober al divrei chachamim chayav misa." Anyone who violates the dictum of the sages, what the Chazal say, the Chazal said to do something, chayav misa. He's liable for the death penalty. Now, of course, we know that we're not going to take this literally, because we know that there's not an actual capital punishment for violating the words of the sages. But it's quite striking, the language of the Brisa in this Gemara in Brachos on 4b. So this is what we're going to take a look at this Gemara over here. And this Gemara can be found in Maseches Brachos 4b, Daf Daled Amud Beis. And it's, I think, what did I say, 11 lines or 13 lines from the bottom of the page. But we're going to start with the Brisa, with the beginning of the Brisa. And the Brisa mentions over here, Kedesanya Chachamim. This is like what the Chachamim said in regard to, we're talking over here on the first Mishnah in Shas. The first Mishnah in Shas tells us about the obligation to say Krishma Shel Arvis, the nighttime Shema. And the Brisa over here says, Chachamim masu siag l'divreihem. The Chachamim made a fence to their words. This is, we're not going to get into that. What is it referring to their words? But we'll just see what it says over here. Kedei shelo yehei adam bo min hasada ba'erev. So that a man should not come from the field, from his work, in the evening time when it gets dark, v'omer, and say to himself as follows: Eilech lebeisi, I'm gonna go. I had a hard day work. All of the work that I had to do in the field. What am I gonna do now? I need to chill out a bit. I need to take a break. So Eilech lebeisi, very understandable. I'm gonna go home. I'm very hungry. But ochel kima, I'm gonna eat just a bit. Kima is not a large amount. It's a small amount. Ve'eshte kima, and have a bit to drink. Ve'ishan kima, and have a bit of a rest. V'chakach ekre krishma v'espalel, and after I've gotten myself together, had some relaxation and some nourishment, then I'm going to, presumably, I guess he means to go to the shul and say Krishma and say the Shmona Esrei. Right. So does that sound like a good thing? Sounds like a reasonable thing that he wants to do, no? Okay. So what's the Brisa have to say about this? What happens? And what happens? He's going to go to sleep a bit. Maybe he ate a little bit more than he thought he was going to. Maybe he drank a little bit more than what he thought he was going to, or maybe he didn't. But in any case, he went to sleep. He thought he was just going to be for a little bit, and he's going to be, and he's overtaken by a deep sleep. The nimsa yashan kol halayla. It comes out that he's going to end up sleeping the entire night. Good night. And what's going to happen with Kriya Shema? That's the problem, that he's going to miss Kriya Shema. So therefore, what do we want him to do, says the Brisa? We want him to put himself out a bit. So therefore, the Brisa continues. Aval, Adam ba min asada. The proper thing for him to do is, he comes home after a hard day in the field, the full day, and he's just coming home by Erev, in the evening time. What should he do? Immediately, Niknas, the Beis HaKnesses. Go to the Beis HaKnesses. Imrogil likros, correct. If he's someone that knows how to learn a bit, so let him do that. Imrogil lishnos. Shoina, let him do that. What's the difference between likros and lishnos? Likros in the language of the Brisa means to learn Chumash, to learn Psukim, to learn Tanakh. And lishnos is like Mishnayos, to learn Torah Sheba'al Peh, B'Korah Kriya Shema. And then after having done that, it's now going to be time for Kriya Shema, and he's going to say Kriya Shema timely, and then he's going to mispalel, he's going to say Shmona Esrei, Ba'ochel Pitoy, and then after that, he's going to have his bread to eat, Umavorech. And of course, he's going to say Birkas Hamazon. And the Brisa left one thing out. What did it leave out? And he's going to wash my machronim. Why didn't it say? I don't know.
Is that equivalent to when we do Mayim Mafaronim?
Well, all it says Ochel Pito. He eats his pot, right? He eats his lachmania, his bread that he's got over there. And then it says Umavarech. And he benches. I'm saying the Brisa would seem to have left out that he should have washed my machronim. But to be fair, it also didn't say that he washes before he eats. So it's not talking about that. It's not talking about the halachas of washing over here. It's talking about the fact that instead of eating first and sleeping first and then taking care of Kriya Shema and Tefillah, he should rather do it the other way around. Even though he'd like to eat now, he's hungry and he's had a hard day and he's needs a bit of rest. He feels he'd like to have some rest. No, we want to make sure that the first thing that he does when he's finished with his work is go to the Beis HaKnesses, and there he will be able to fulfill a mitzvah of Talmud Torah. He'll be able to fulfill the mitzvah of Kriya Shema. He'll be able to fulfill the mitzvah of Tefillah, and afterwards he can have his meal and he could go to sleep. So that's what the Brisa says. And then the Brisa says, "V'kol ha'over al divrei chachamim chayev bisa. And whoever violates the words of the sages, chayev bisa. Wow. So I have a note over here that it says as a pasuk in Koheles. It says Poretz Geder Yishchenu Nachash. Someone who breaches the fence, the Nachash is going to bite him. Floimer, what does that mean? The one who disregards the words of the sages, uporetz es gidram, and he breaches the fence that they made. Yomos misa bidei shemayim. Wow. So why did it say Yishchenu Nachash? We're talking about the Nachash. Why does it say that the Nachash will bite him? Mishum shehizkir betchila loshen pritzas geder b'derech hanachashim lagur b'churim u'b'protzois. That is the province of the Nachash. He's the one who is always slithering around and skulking through the fence and getting through and breaching the barrier. So he's the one that the person is going to fall prey to. That's from a Rashi in the Gemara in Sota, actually. That's been taken over here. So in other words, what do we have really? We have a mitzvah of Kriyishma. The mitzvah of Kriyishma is deraisa. But the truth to be told, the mitzvah of Kriyishma, according to the Torah, can be fulfilled the entire nighttime, which is when? All the way until dawn. But we don't want that a person should say to himself, oh, look, I've got until dawn to take care of this mitzvah. And therefore the sages made a rabbinic prohibition that a person is not allowed to say Kriyishma after midnight. If he does so, he's still fulfilled the mitzvah, presumably, of Kriyishma, but he has violated the words of the sages. And therefore this brisa, in accord with that rabbinic injunction, is saying, and you know what? Even we're going to make a part of the injunction of the sages is that we don't even want you to wait until midnight, because the person could think, oh, look, even according to the Chachamim, I got until midnight, and now it's what time is it? It's 6 o'clock. I've got 6 hours. Let me eat a little bit. Let me drink. Let me sleep a little bit. I'll be in much better condition. I'll be rested. I won't be so hungry, and then I'll be able to go to the Beit Knesset, and I'll be able to fulfill I'll be able to learn. I'll be able to everything. The Brisa says we don't want you to do like that. We're afraid. Maybe today we got the alarm clocks, or you could tell your wife to please wake you up. Sometimes she forgets, and sometimes the alarm clock doesn't work, and so this is the idea over here. Okay. All right, so we looked up this Gemara, and that's what it says. Well, what exactly is this idea about being chayv misa for violating the words of the sages? Like we said, he's gonna get bitten. He's gonna get bitten. He's gonna get tricked. This is what the Nachash is, right? We know from this week's parsha of Bereshis that this is exactly what the deal was with the Nachash. The Nachash had a whole plan over here, how he's going to get Adam Arishon to violate the Ratzon Hashem, and he had a whole plan, and Chava and Adam got they fell in, and so the Nachash, so to speak, bit them. So perhaps this is a way to explain what it means over here, that then somebody who violates the words of the sages, the Nachash is going to bite them. They're going to end up getting tricked by the Yetzer Hara, and they're going to end up. It's not going to be good. Listen to what the sages say, then you'll be able to fulfill what it says in the Torah. Okay, that's the idea. And now we're going to go on to the next paragraph in page 55, eating and drinking at the meal of a mitzvah. And we'd like to call upon Alan, who's been waiting here very patiently.
Okay. So which paragraph then? Okay. Want you to be careful?
Yeah.
Want you to be careful not to be overbearing towards
Sorry. No, at 55, the second last paragraph, at the meal of a mitzvah.
Okay. At the meal of a mitzvah, one needs to be very careful that his reward should not be offset by his losses. If, for example, he speaks something improper, such as mockery, sarcasm, hurtful words, comedy, levity, etc., rather the fear of heaven shows me upon him as a shield, and by doing so, his eating will be accepted as a sacrifice. When he conducts himself appropriately according to the Torah, his table will be considered an altar of atonement.
Oh, wow.
So I don't get why comedy is in this list.
Well, it sort of goes along with levity, comedy and levity.
Levity,
Right.
levity, I get. Levity is comedy that's not proper. What's wrong with comedy? Somebody should say a joke at the table. It wouldn't seem to me to be a problem. Might enhance the camaraderie of the group.
So the things that we, from time to time, we might laugh at something that is said in the Gemara. We've all done that. Is that a comedy?
Let me
Is
go
that
get
under
the.
comedy?
I'm gonna go get my Pele Yoetz. How does he say the word? I assume he says the word leitzonos.
Okay. What, you know what page we're on in Pele Yoetz?
55.
55, okay, thank you.
Find the page next to last paragraph.
Okay, I want to look up to see what is the word that the Pele Yoetz used over here.
Five,
Okay.
okay.
It should be two words, one that's translated as comedy and the other one that's translated as levity.
Yeah. See what? Yeah, he says over here, Sudas mitzvah sarkli zaher. In a Sudas mitzvah, a person should be careful. Shalot say scharan behefsedon. Here he is participating in a mitzvah. As through this mitzvah, he's participating in the bris milah, the mitzvah of a bris milah, or perhaps or v'chasna. So he's doing a mitzvah, right? So we don't want that. But there's the pitfalls over here. Shelo tetzei scharon behafsedon. The scar that he's going to have for this mitzvah should not be, here we go with our old topic over here, should not go out the door on account of averas that he piles up while he's at the mitzvah, of the Suda's mitzvah. And what could happen? All sorts of injunctions against improper speech. B'daber dover asher lo kadas, when he's speaking words that are shelo kadas, not according to the proper mode of conduct. Kegon, for example, what does that refer to? Late sonos. That's the first thing that he says. Has been translated in our book as mockery. Late sonos. Late sonos is making a joke about something which is in order to, so to speak, take away the importance and the significance of a Torah thought that's been said. Divrei nirgon, he translates as sarcasm. Okay, the word nirgon is up for debate. What exactly is its translation? But I'll tell you that if I'm not mistaken, the Chumash refers to the people in the Chet Meraglim when they were I believe over there as nargonim, people that were complaining, people that were bemoaning the situation. Okay, so another improper type of a speech. Onas devorim, words that cause another person to feel bad, are hurtful. And then he finishes off uschok b'kalus rosh. So here's the word that he translated over here as comedy. Schok. Now schok has in Chazal has a connotation as a type of a statement that could lead to improper behavior between men and women, or other types of averas. So it's not really correctly translated as comedy. B'kalus rosh, also the type of talk that leads to the wrong type of conduct. So we're not just talking about someone that makes a pleasantry at the table and causes people to smile. Okay. Okay. All right. So therefore, he's going to the mitzvah, Psudas mitzvah, and he's and so what type of words should he say at the table? He should of course say words of Torah, like the Pele Yoetz has said before, and even words of greeting to other people, of asking how other people are, is certainly permissible as well, of course. But these other categories are one has to be very careful. He's saying that when people come together at a Suda, so they don't only eat, but they also talk. So then they have to, he's saying, make sure that the talk that is spoken is proper Torah-dika talk. Okay, let's go to the next paragraph. Mitzorek Shiavorek, Birkas Hamazon. That's part of the Suda also. That's part of eating and drinking. And we call upon Roy.
All right.
Please.
A man needs to bless the Birkat Hamazon deliberately, in a loud voice and with joy of his heart. He must pay close attention to the words that he utters with his mouth, so as to have in mind their deeper meaning. Doing so is impossible for him not to rejoice. It appears from the words of the Holy Zohar in Shemot 218a, that there is a great need and personal obligation to do whatever is necessary in order to bless the Birkat Hamazon with delight. A great aid that facilitates proper intention is to bless with one's eyes closed, or his eyes look down and his heart is lifted up. Quoted. One should have in mind that each one of the four blessings corresponds to one of the four letters of God's name, in order to bring down confluence and blessings into the four levels of the world: emanation, creation, formation, and action. Fortunate is one born of a woman who achieved this. The Sefer HaChinuch notes that there is a tradition that whoever is careful in Birkat Hamazon, his necessities will be available for him all the days of his life with dignity. Examine and comprehend this from the reward that is given to a person who provides great satisfaction to his Creator, and all your deeds should be for the sake of heaven.
So
There.
this brings to mind something that I viewed as a problem when I first became observant. I was in a community with lots of people who were all, new Bali Tshuva, and it was our custom that when we benched, we would sing together in a loud voice, and it would seem to me that based on what this says, we were doing what the Pele Yoetz says. Then, as I became involved with more mainstream communities, activities, it was not the custom. Even the first paragraph, I found that people benched quietly, and there wasn't any feeling of happiness or joy. So I wonder why that is. Why is it that the custom is not to sing together like I did originally in my Baal Tshuva community?
Why is it not that way? Well, why is it not that way? The main thing is that everybody has to do, there might be some people who, it's nice to it's interesting over here. I'm not sure if the Pele Yoetz is saying over here that everybody should sing the Birkas Hamazon together either. I don't know if that's what he means. I think what he means to say is that as opposed to say the Birkas Hamazon like this, you should say it so that your ears hear what you're saying. He doesn't mention that, but I believe that that's what he means to refer to, and like that, a person will hear what he's saying, and like that, the general effect that has on most people is that it's ma'orer their kavanah. It awakens them to the words and to pay attention to the words, what they are saying. Also in you mentioned over here about everybody singing the Birkas Hamazon together. Look, if it works, if that's good for people, and they're able. See, the point is not simply to sing a song. The point is to say the words with intention, and with understanding what's being said. So every person really has to do what works for him. There might be some people even who feel that they can have better kavanah if they say it very quietly. But I believe they're exception to the rule. Most people, they have more kavanah if they say it louder. But as we know, when it comes to Shmon Esrei, we're not allowed to say the words of Shmon Esrei out loud so that other people can hear. But we do say, the halacha does say that one should say the Shmon Esrei loud enough so that one can hear himself say the words, though. They should be audible to himself, but not to be audible to the person who's davening next to him. There are, if you go to many shuls of the Sfardim, you'll find that they sing different portions of the davening. The Pesukei de Zimra, they'll sometimes sing Shir Sayam. There'll be more. It'll be part of the and also on Shabbos. There's more singing by them. That's their tradition. That's what they do. Ashkenazi congregations, for the most part, don't do that. Well, actually, we do this to a certain extent on Leil Shabbos, by Kabbalah Shabbos. But the main thing is that what he's saying over here, to say the words and say them with kavanah, with meaning, and also he says with joy. So however a person is able to do that, that's what he should do. That's what he should do. And everybody has to do that. It doesn't matter whether they were born not religious or they were born religious. Everybody has to follow the Torah, and they have to do the best, do it in the way that works for them. When people get a little bit older and more mature, they start to realize that they don't necessarily have to do things the way that they did when they were 12 years old. But sometimes this is a problem, that people just keep doing the same way that they did when they were forced to do it when they were young. Why is that? That's the if you knew the answer to that question, then you could you could. There's awful lot of people that would like to know the answer to this question. But that's the this is the everybody has their own tests and their own challenges in their life, and based upon their experience and their upbringing and so on and so forth. But this is, I've never heard this before, what he says over here. there's 4 blessings in the Birkas Hamazon, and he says that each bracha corresponds to one of the letters of Shem Hashem, which also corresponds to one of the 4 olamot that we learned about in the Nefesh HaChaim. And so this is what Birkas Hamazon is doing. It's sort of like invoking what?
I'm sorry, but I have this little buffer here, and he's asking how we should take out the natzim.
Okay,
Do we have something? Well, it's another 15 minutes.
with scissors.
Scissors? Okay.
Okay. Okay. So the Birkas Hamazon over here is something that we see. It brings blessing to all of the worlds. And the words of the Sefer Chinuch, somebody that makes Birkas Hamazon properly, does the mitzvah with kavana, he's going to have his parnasa bekavod. And so this is a very great part of eating and drinking, the Birkas Hamazon that is said after the eating. Okay. Any shall we go on to the next section?
I had another question or comment, and that is when it talks about eyes closed, facilitating greater intention. I had learned that it's better to that a person should always read the prayers rather than say them by heart. Is that not correct?
Right. There's also a statement like this. See, a lot of what he says over here comes from the Zohar. And a lot of what our halacha says does not come from the Zohar. Some of it does, but some of it doesn't. So we see that there are different views about different things. But the main point, as I was saying before, is that each person has to know himself, and he has to know what works for his own avodas Hashem. And this is something also that is person has to know what works for his avodas Hashem. Probably for most of us, the better thing would be to look inside in the words of the bencher or the siddur, and that will help us say the words with proper concentration, and we won't forget to say any words because we got the words in front of us. And even sometimes when we have the words in front of us, we don't end up saying all the words properly. So all the more so if we would have our eyes closed and we don't even have the words in front of us at all. So this is perhaps for a person who's trained himself. He's absolutely expert in all the words, every single last word of Birkas Hamazon, and he knows it backwards and forwards, and he's not going to make a mistake like this. And when he closes his eyes, he's able to block everything out of the everything that's going on around him, and everything that's going on in front of him and on the sides and on back of him, and all he's focusing on is the words of the Birkas Hamazon. So there is a place for that, but if it's for us to do, probably not.
You say the same thing about Shema. Most people close their eyes and even cover their eyes when they say Shema. But
Yeah,
I
see,
find
because-
that distracts me, and I keep my eyes open, but I put my fingers in my ears because I get distracted by everybody else what everybody else is saying. Is that wrong, or is that just a matter of personal preference also?
You have to take a look inside in the halach. I mean, if you say that you find you have better concentration when you have your eyes open, presumably that's you're looking in the words of the siddur, and not looking around, not looking up at what's going on. So you're looking at the words of the Shema. So if you find that gives you better concentration, it would seem to me that that would be permissible.
Thank you.
The main point is to have concentration and to focus exactly on the words that are being said and what each word means, and the three basic parts, three basic principles of Emunah that are alluded to in the words of the Shema. That Hashem is the he created the world, and he is still intimately involved in the world, and he is not only intimately involved in the world, but he is the source of everything that happens. Hashem Echad, Achdus Hashem. So we have to focus on these three principles of Emunah when we say the Shema. Okay. All right. We got up to Emes. And we go to Mayor today. This to start off Emes.
Emet, which begins with the first letter of the alphabet. Okay. Lips of truth will be forever and save one from death, as the well-known statement in Sanhedrin 97a maintains regarding the city named Kushta, truth in Aramaic, where no one spoke falsely and no man died before his time. Our sages in Sanhedrin 92a said that one who speaks falsely is considered like an idolater, as it is written in Breshit, and I, Yaakov, will be in his eyes like an idolater. God is a Lord of truth. His seal is truth. His Torah is truth. The remnant of Israel will not perform an injustice. They will not make a false promise, and there will not be found in their mouth a tongue of deceit. Oh, that's from Zephaniah. Whoa. He's one of the Treyasar, right? Zephaniah, I think.
Yes.
Okay. There are many,
Correct.
right, okay. There are many common people who have taught their tongue to speak lies, and it has become as if it were completely permissible to the extent that they lie even in their trivial stories for no real benefit. About them, the verse in Yeshaya says, "Woe unto those who draw iniquity with ropes of vainness, when lying is for some gain, such as in measures, weights, etc. They no longer refer to it as lying, but as industrious cleverness and enterprise." Whoa. They claim that someone who is not willing to lie nowadays cannot make a profit, a fabrication they have othered. Behold, our sages commented in the Midrash Mishlei in Sachar Tov, when Noach entered the ark, falsehood also wanted to enter. Noach said to him, "Go out and find a partner, for everyone who comes into the ark has come as a married couple." He went, he sought, and he found depreciation, it says. Okay. He said to her, "Will you marry me?" She said, "What will you give me?" He answered her, "Whatever profit I will give to you." From that day on, whatever a person profits by lying is taken by depreciation. If the
Oh,
evil,
word the
I
word
read-
yeah, sorry. I just wanted to tell you the word in the Hebrew edition is pachata, from the word pachot.
so to lessen, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So in other words, right. So whatever profit, quote unquote, he thinks that he's making as a result of his sheker. So it's married to pachata. It's married to the lessening. And so this is the idea that we always hear on the hotline, actually, that Alan knows very well, that that's one of the principles of Emunah, that you can never, ever, ever profit by doing the wrong thing. And you never, ever, ever lose out by doing the right thing.
Right thing.
And
Okay,
that's the principle of Emunah.
and like, okay, so depreciation is a lowering of value in accounting terms. Okay.
Right.
So if the evil inclination winks with his eyes and shows a man that he will profit greatly by lying, in the end, the loss of value will catch up with him. As it is written in Yirmiyahu, wealth earned without justice will leave a person in the middle of his life. In the end, he will be a despicable person, or the wealth will be preserved for its owner's downfall in this world and the world to come. God will not withhold good from those who walk with uprightness.
Very good. Okay, so we have 1 minute left. Any questions?
What about the principle that if my wife says to me, do I look fat in this dress? The answer is no.
Right. That's right.
So is that the problem with this?
Oh, okay. So you want to know when are you allowed to say something which is not the truth? So we know from the Chumash already. We know from the Chumash already that that when Sarah said, she said that when she heard the Malach say that she's going to have a son, so she said to her, she laughed and she said to herself, "Ha, here I am, and blah blah blah, and my husband is old. Like how is that going to happen? There's ain't no way." And so when Hashem told Avram that his wife had laughed, and he related what his wife had told, what his wife had said, Hashem, as it were, did not say that. He didn't say that, and your wife said that you were old. He said, and I think, and she said that she was old.
Right.
And the Chazal say that yes, that for the sake of Shalom Bayis, this is what Hashem did to preserve the Shalom Bayis of Avram Avinu and Sarah Imenu.
Right. So I'm maintaining my shalom bias.
Right.
So how does that
Yes,
work
shalom.
with this idea that I'm not going to profit from it, and I'm like an idolater and all this stuff?
Okay, so you have to know what it means when it says to say the emes. What does it mean to say the emes? Did Yaakov Avinu, did he say the emes when he said, Anochi, Esav, B'charecha? Was that the emes?
No.
Yes, it was, says Reb Dessler. Because what's the emes? The emes is, what is the Ratzon Hashem that I'm supposed to say right now? That's the emes. And that's what Yaakov Avinu did. he listened to his mother, and he said what his mother wanted him to say, and Rav Dessler says that was the Ratzon Hashem. That was even emes, because that's the definition of the Ratzon Hashem. In other words, there's certain times when Hashem wants a person to say something which is not exactly in line with what we would call in English the truth. But, like for example, another example, it's a Gemara in Bava Metzia, that somebody asks, some uncouth individuals ask you, oh, was it a good meal that you ate by Plony over there? And you'll say, yeah, it was all right, it was okay. You don't tell them that it was delicious and it was good and it was because why? Because you don't want these types of people to overrun that person's house and they're gonna be knocking on his door every day and they want a meal and they want to come for Shabbos and they will come for the next Shabbos, and that's called emes. What he said. That's the Ratzon Hashem.
Lou, I think you're in a spot of bother. If you say the dress doesn't make you look fat, so she puts it on and she goes out and it does make her look fat, what will people say about her?
He's got a lousy husband.
No, they won't know that she asked you. Well, maybe. So, that could be embarrassing her.
Right.
That's true.
So you're in trouble then. So you've got to be careful how you.
Well, you certainly don't want to say that she looks fat in it, but you could say, what about the other dress?
So then she interprets that, yes, I do look fat.
No. She'll say, maybe he meant to say, he doesn't like that design, he doesn't like that color, he doesn't like the cut. Oh, this dress, I like this dress very much.
Yeah.
Or you say, no, doesn't make you look fat. And then she says, what about this dress? Oh yeah, I like that one. Or somebody else tells her she looks fat.
And then runs away. But
Hashem always provides you with a way out.
yeah, he'll have to give you a diplomatic answer to.
The answer is no, that's for sure.
Why can't you say it might, except I know you're not fat, but it does make you look that way.
That's not a good answer.
What?
That's
You
not
can't
the
say that?
answer. The answer is no.
That's what I would say.
Well,
I'd say
okay.
The dress lies. The dress lies.
If it works for
You're
you.
not like that at all.
If it
You're
works
not
for
fat
you.
at all. So why make yourself look fat? Put on something else that makes you look skinny. We can't afford to feed you. Oh, you're in trouble. I think you're best if you had a heart attack then. Fake it.
Well, I'm talking behind closed doors over here.
Dramatic.
Well, it's a problem. You do have to think about the consequences of what you say.
Right.
Yeah. It can be a very big problem. Like it's especially so if a shidduch is involved. You have to be very careful.
Yes, if it's a shidduch, you've got a double problem.
Mm.
11:37.
Okay.
137.
Is that
Very
the
good.
truth?
Everybody have a good Shabbos.
Have a good
Shabbat
Shabbat.
shalom. Thank you,
Shabbat shalom,
Rabbi.
everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos to Luke. Shabbos Roy.
See you on
And
Sunday.
Alec.
It's Hashem.
And Mayor.
As we
Hey,
start.
have a good Shabbos,
Video.
everyone.
Shabbos,
Yeah,
Yechiel,
yeah.
have a good Shabbos.
Shabbos, Yechiel.
It's gonna be a good beginning.
Good
for-
Shabbos
amen.
Bereshit.
And
Yeah.
all Israel.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.